Hello everyone, and today we are going to discuss a new topic about Microsoft Excel. We are going to discuss cell fill. So the objectives are cell fill and cell fill types, vertical and horizontal cell fill, and knowing AutoFill. Well, fill can be used for numbers, texts, formulas, and functions. Also, fill can be directed as vertically from top to down or bottom to up. Also can be dragged horizontally from right to left or left to right, okay? Also fill can be directed as dragged or autofill, okay? Let's go practically to our Excel sheet. So we can fill numbers by selecting this number and waiting for the black cross sign and drag. And you see that there is a series here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. If you continue dragging, the series will be complete as you stop. Okay? Also, you can drag text. If you want to drag this text, just select these cells and drag the text. Will be dragged as numbers. Also, you can drag formula. If you have this formula and this formula is today, you can drag this formula by select the formula and drag it. Okay? Also, you can just click on this black cross to complete the drag whatever you want. Okay? Also, if you have a function such as this cell reference B7 multiplied by 2 and this function, and you want to drag this function, you select the function and drag the function, okay? And accordingly, the function will be repeated to multiply the next value, okay? The next value, the next value, okay? And you can also stand here and click on the black cross to make automatically drag without dragging, like that, okay? So if you delete and just stand on the cell and stand here to show the black cross and click on this black cross like that, you will have automatically drag to this formula, and any one of these cells are repeated formula from this reference multiplied by 2. Also, you can change this formula by adding, for example, +1 and drag it again to be changed automatically. Okay? Well, we have learned to drag numbers, drag text, drag formula, drag function. Also, drag can be horizontally. If you have one and the next cell is 3 and you want to keep the series, just select 1 and 3, these two cells, and drag. You will find these values are increased in the same pattern of the first two cells. So 5 is increased by 2, and 7 increased by 2, and 9 increased by 2, and so on. Also, another example. If you have this one and next cell is 100 and you want to keep this pattern on, just drag these two cells. So the next will be increased by 99 and the fourth cell will be increased by also the same value 99 and so on. Also, let's take more example. If you have this series, okay, and you want to drag these two values, what are the coming series will be increased by only 1, like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Also, if you have only one value and you want to use fill to see the result of this value, just drag it. You can repeat this value whatever you want. Okay? Also, if you have this value 0 and the second value is 2, and we are selecting these two cells, what is the next series? The next series will be increased by constant incremental by 2. So this is the result. 4, 6, 8, incremental by 2, 10, increased by 2, 12, increased by 2, 14, and so on. Also, if you have a date series and you want to use fill, you can keep the series increasing by 1. So 28 become 29, so the next cell will be 30, and so on. Let's try 30, and if you complete dragging, you will find we have a next time and the next month here. We have a next year. Drag these series to keep all dates you want to do. Okay? Also, for weekdays, you can only use drag and fill to complete the weekdays, like that. Okay? Okay. According to fill format, you can also repeat format by selecting the cell and drag down. So you repeat two things. The first thing is format. The second thing is a series of number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay? Also, you can control this option by clicking in this down arrow. You can only copy cell. You can only fill series. You can only fill formatting only. You can only fill without formatting. You can only use flash fill. Okay? Okay. Also, if you want to use fill from tab, from home, you will find fill here to select down, right, up, left, series, flash fill, justify, and so on. So let's summarize this lecture. You can use fill to repeat numbers or text or formula or functions, like that. You can only use fill to vertically top down, or you can also use fill to bottom up. Also, you can use fill from right to left or from left to right. Also, you can make series by using fill if you want to have series 1, 4, and so on, and to keep this pattern, just drag this series. Okay? Also, you can use fill to repeat and make continuous dating. Also, you can use fill to make continuous timeline by just drag the dates. Also, you can use fill by completing weekdays by dragging for the weekdays such as Sunday, Monday, and so on. Also, you can use fill format to keep formatting and repeat formatting, like that. This is about fill and cell fill. If you have any question, just contact us. Thank you, and see you in the next lecture.